Alright, this is John Kohler with growingyourgreens.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and I never thought I'd be making a gardening video at a hotel, but we are at the Omni Hotel here in downtown Austin off Brazos and 8th Street. And the reason why I'm here today is because there's a new company that hopefully within 18 months is gonna have a little mini farm that you can grow on your kitchen table or in your house, right? And it grows food automatically in soil, in living soil, a matter of fact. Most of these indoor garden things grow hydroponically, which I'm not a big fan of. I'm a big fan of living soil, but there's been nothing like this on the market until now, or hopefully soon coming to the market. So we're here at the Omni Hotel because this is where they have their prototype running to test to make sure, proof of concept, that it actually works. And their goal is actually to get it in hotels, in retirement centers, homeless shelters, so that people can have food and very nutritious food, and eat it where it's grown. Okay. So anyways, we're gonna probably head inside the hotel and I'm gonna show you guys the tiny farm by MODGARDEN. It's John Kohler. I've got something really special for you from January 12th to the 18th. I'll be hosting a one-of-a-kind, super intimate retreat in the Caribbean on Culebra Island in the Spanish Virgin Islands. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this. Just 4 to 8 of you will get my personal one-on-one time with me, learning everything about organic gardening and holistic health alongside my buddy Kailash Niels. Spots are super limited, so if you ever want to hang out with me in person, this is your chance. Hit the link below to reserve your spot, and I can't wait to see you there. So now I want to show you guys the tiny farm by MODGARDEN. We are here in a meeting room today, but formerly this very unit was sitting out on the bar in the restaurant where the fresh greens that they grow in this unit and in a bigger unit are consumed, which is great. So I'll throw up a picture for you guys to take a look at. So this is like really a legit working unit. This is their prototype, cost them like $20,000 to make. And while you may think that this looks like something that is growing something hydroponically, you would be incorrect, because every little grow thing on a table that I've seen in the past at CES, the link's down below some of my videos where I show you guys some of these boxes, that I don't like to cover every single model because one guy copies the next guy, copies the next guy, copies the next guy. And what I'm gonna tell you guys is after inspecting this whole unit, this is entirely new and different, designed from the ground up. A matter of fact, they actually have 2 granted utility patents for this exact machine. And this machine, in my opinion, goes a lot deeper than just growing your food. I want to explain it to you guys. So this is the tiny farm by MODGARDEN, once again, prototype unit. You have these little pots that are made out of recycled plastic with felt on the bottom, and it has living soil in here. This is not like a coconut coir mix. This is living soil that I would use in my outdoor garden, and they are growing food in it, right? Most systems would have like an inert coconut coir mixed with probably plastic little pads that suck up the liquid nutrients to give the plants the nutrients, whereas in here they've pre-inoculated this soil with different trace minerals, different microbes, so the plants could express the most potential, have the highest bricks and the highest mineral content. And really, I'll tell you guys that are outdoor gardeners, is the secret is really in the soil. So they have really been refining and working on their soil mix to get it exactly right, and then they're working on having it being consistent so that when they finally come out with this product, hopefully within the next 18 months, right, they'll be able to send out the best soil to use in the garden to grow your vegetables, right, very quickly. In some cases, these were actually grown in just 7 days. So from 0 days to 7 days, you could have the most nutrient-dense food in the entire world grown indoors, inside your house, at retirement homes, at restaurants. And let's talk about this. The most nutritious food not only tastes better because the food, like you ever buy a tomato at the store and they're pink and you drop them and they bounce? They have 0 flavor. How much nutrition is in one of those tomatoes that are picked too early, not grown, with the right nutrients, is not grown in living soil, or anything? Not many, right? This is some of the most nutritious food you could get. These happen to be radish microgreens that were literally grown 7 days ago. Now, This system is designed from the ground up to focus on leafy greens because the inventor and owner of the company that I'll be interviewing later at this episode has determined that the leafy greens are some of the most nutritionally dense and can have the highest, life force or biophotons in the food. And as I said, these were grown in 7 days. Other things like sunflower greens can be grown in 10 days. You could grow whole things of lettuce, like baby arugula and other different vegetables in here, whatever you'd like. And the cool thing about this system is that this system, once again, and I'm really looking forward to this because this is an indoor growing system. Don't put this outdoors, it's fully self-contained. It's gonna have sensors to measure the humidity, the moisture level in the soil. It's gonna have sensors to measure the temperature, and it's just so simple to use. So let me go ahead and throw this back in, and then each one of these trays has 4 of these little pots in there. So you could grow a lot of food in here. Once again, automatically, all you do is you take the soil blocks with the seed sheets, put them on, and then you stick these in here. That's the first step. The second step is you take this out and you just fill it up with water. This is the water reservoir, and you slide it in there. And then you plug it in, and that's it. And then you walk away, and you come back 7 days later, and you got, microgreens to eat. If you want to grow fuller size lettuce or other greens, it's going to take a little bit longer, right? Everything's fully automatic. The lights come on, come off. He's going to have the lights more duplicate the sun, where it's more like kind of blue light, and then it goes to red light with different spectrums to ensure that the plants make the most nutrients. This is why I like growing outside, because even the best of growing inside can't duplicate nature. I'll be the first to tell you guys, I kill plants inside. If I'm growing stuff inside, it's very hard for me to keep alive. Why? Because I have to control the watering, I have to control how much light it gets, and I'm just not good at that. But when I grow things outside, I put the plant outdoors, the sun comes up every day, the sun sets every day, my plants all get light, and I set my irrigation system up to go on and off, but the plants get water, and of course I already start with a good soil, which is one of the main things I focus on outdoors. And that's what really this kit is allowing you to do indoors without you having to think about it, without you having to mix up the soil, without you having to source the highest quality seeds that are going to have more nutrition inside them. So the cool thing about this system is that it doesn't have all these fancy electronics to do the watering. I mean, this is like the prototype, but basically there's a very intricate patented wicking system they use with felt, with different kinds of materials and water channels and all these things. So it's really easy, but really they're really focusing on the IP, to basically get the soil exactly right so it can draw up or not draw up depending on what produce item is being grown. And the goal of this is, is going to be around $500, hopefully $450. They're going to have basically a subscription service where you pay $25 a month, and you're going to be able to grow 2 sets of plants every month. At present time. I mean, this may change in the future, but I think this is really cool, so you could actually just start growing food at home with no experience required. This is the easiest system to grow the highest quality food, and even then they're creating an app, which is going to be next level, because they're going to basically they're going to grow the crop out, and then they're going to get analysis of the crop that's grown in their system. They're going to send it out to the lab, and they're going to know, hey, when we grow this crop in our soil mix using the right seeds, we get this much nutrition, we get this much potassium out of these plants, this much calcium, this much of different kind of amino acids. And when you harvest one little pot, you eat all those foods, it'll say, hey, it'll pop up on the app, you got 60% of your potassium today, you need to eat maybe these other things to get your other 40%. So I mean, I think that is really where the next level is. Aside from making it easy, they're also going to help you to ensure you get enough nutrition in your food, which no other growing appliance that I've ever seen even will consider, because they're going to have things so dialed in, knowing their seed suppliers, knowing the soil they're using, knowing the bacteria, the microbes, and the minerals that are already in the soil when they grow it, so you get pretty much similar results every single time. So I'm personally really looking forward to the Tiny Farm by MODGARDEN coming out and getting my own and trying it to make sure it works. And I'm going to be sure to give them a lot of feedback if it's not working. And I'm going to be upset because I really want to start growing some things inside, because I mean, honestly, I should be growing microgreens, but I don't, because I'm just too ADHD. But even an ADHD guy like me can grow in here because it's so easy. Anyways, before I interview the inventor of this, I want to go ahead and try these microgreens, the most living food with biophotons in this entire hotel because it's alive. And actually, these are the same greens that they serve here at the hotel. This is the best way to eat your greens. Don't even harvest them. Just bite right into them as they're still living. Definitely some delicious greens. All right, let's go ahead and sit down with the inventor and learn more about the tiny farm by MODGARDEN. So now I have the pleasure of interviewing Aamar, the founder of MODGARDEN, who created this tiny farm that hopefully within 18 months you can soon buy and grow on your kitchen table or countertop or your spare bedroom for that matter. So we're going to ask him some questions today about the tiny farm. So Aamar, the first question is, why did you decide to build a tiny farm? Because this is a big undertaking.
Great to be here with you, Sean. So it's a little bit of a journey, actually. I'll be really brief. I just got sick, and when I started looking into my own health, it came up that I had a magnesium deficiency, and somebody gave me magnesium, and my migraines went away. My ailments, like my eczema, went away. Of course, there was a lifestyle change too, but I'm like, what is magnesium and where does it come from? And of course, the short answer is magnesium comes from food. And so when I began looking into food and farming and soil, what I found mortified me. And so that was the beginning of the journey of creating something for people who live in condos like myself. I was living in Toronto at the time, can grow food indoors because we don't have gardens. And so that's why I started this.
Wow, so it sounds to me like you started this because you had maybe a mineral deficiency, and while people could get their minerals in a pill, and like in nature, like we wouldn't take pills. Like before there was pills, we didn't have pills. You had to actually eat food to get your minerals like magnesium. And unfortunately, due to the food system, where they're not necessarily adding magnesium into the soil, they add NPK for sure, and maybe you're lucky if they add magnesium. And of course, certain plants will absorb more magnesium than others, which is the total next level. So it really sounds like to me, Aamar, is that you're basically making the tiny farm so that people can actually get things like trace minerals and other nutrients that should be in food that are not in food.
Yeah,
is this correct?
Absolutely. There's a metric out there. Everyone thinks that we have a food security problem. All the big corporations out there are chasing yield. Oh, how much more can we grow? How much can we make the farm give us even more food? But in reality, we have a nutrient security problem. If you just look at the life expectancy rates around the nation and around the world, actually, the G7 countries that are the most advanced, progressive countries in the world have falling life expectancies. I mean, for the last 5 decades in the United States, we've been experiencing our life expectancies have been falling. You know where we are? We're number 53rd on the list in the ranking of where we sit in life expectancy. And then every year that I turn, I find that cancer rates are going up, chronic disease rates are going up. More than 50% of these can be solved by food. Why isn't it being solved by food? And the reason is that the farming system is a travesty. 99.3% of all farms are being sprayed with some sort of a pesticide. 100 years ago, we used to grow and control our own food. And what I'm trying to do with MODGARDEN is basically give that control back to people again. And
if they don't live in a place where they could grow food, right? I mean,
exactly.
I live in a tract house, I could grow food, but then some people in my city won't grow food because they think they can't grow food outside in 100-degree weather for over 110 days this year.
That's right. Whether you live in an urban environment like I do, right now I live in Austin, but I've lived in New York, London, Toronto. There's no gardens out there. And there's no integrity. Like, you just can't trust someone when you walk into a grocery store to tell you the truth about where that food's really coming from. When I walked into a grocery store one day, I asked them, hey, where's this lettuce coming from? And they're like, oh, it comes from this distributor. That's not the answer that I'm looking for. I want to know, how was the food grown? Was it grown with love and care of a farmer? Was it grown in the correct soil microbial makeup? Was it grown organically? It matters. And so there's no way this is going to get solved unless we as people take control. And I believe, humbly so, that this is potentially one way to do that.
And here's the reason why I think it makes it available for people to do it, because a lot of people, I mean, a lot of you guys watching my channel have watched me for so long and you understand all this stuff. We're preaching to the choir literally. But there's new people that have never learned about gardening before that wants to garden, and that they don't want to go through the school of hard knocks. They don't want to build a raised bed. Maybe they don't have a space to garden. Maybe they live in Austin, and I'm staying at my friend's house, and she's like, I don't grow a garden. It's too hard. We've been having droughts and all these things. But she could surely fill up some water in a tank, plug this thing in, and put the seed mats on there and walk away, and in 7 days she's going to have nutrient-dense food. So I mean, that is really, I think, what makes this special, that he's going to make it available to everybody. And let's talk about, like, why do you want to get this into nursing homes and other places like this?
Yeah, so if you think back how we used to live, we used 50, 100 years ago and prior, we used to live around farms. We didn't have cars back then. We used to walk to our food. It was harvested by a farmer or by even us. It was on our table in minutes or hours. Today, our food is on our table in days or weeks, and sometimes even months. And imagine what's left of that food. And so, so what we're trying to do here is allow you to, at least in part, control some of your food production. I'm hoping that, we might take up 12 to 20% of your plate, but we're getting 60 to 80% of your nutrients. And that's really the name of the game right now.
Yeah, and I think that's where really that sets Aamar apart from other companies that have made, growing units on your table, because they don't consider the nutrient values of the food you're actually eating, and this is what he's really passionate about. So another thing, Aamar, I want to ask you about is, you're growing in living soil that I just showed a little bit earlier, and even tasted your amazing radish microgreens today. But why are you doing living soil instead of hydroponics? Because surely in hydroponics, you could also create a very nutritious crop, because I probably have many hydroponic growers out there, and most units that will sit on your tabletop are actually hydroponic. You're the first guy that I know is actually doing a living soil tabletop, self-contained, fully automatic unit, which, I'm not going to say is easy.
Yeah, so in short, hydroponics and aeroponics, and to some extent aquaponics, but the former two predominantly are just extensions of industrial agriculture. Yep. If you're adding a nutrient, and I put that in quotes, a nutrient, I don't care if it's organic nutrients or nutrients, if it's coming from external and it's being added to your water solution or even to soil in the form of a fertilizer, which is what 99+% of our farmlands are doing, that's a synthetic input. We are biological beings. We as biological beings, there is no instance that I know of in the world where a living being eats from a synthetic source. Every living being eats from a living source or a biological source. But 99% of the time, us humans are eating from a synthetic source, and that's coming home to roost. We are now the sickest generation to date. So what I'm doing, the difference is the microbes. It's all about the microbes. It's all about the livingness in the soil. And the livingness in the soil is made up of organic matter and the fungal mycorrhizae network, as you know so well. Without that, we're not going to get nutrients that can assimilate, or when that microbe brings nutrients to the root hair of the plant, and then we eat that plant, because that plant was grown with a biological basis, that's a biological basis, that plant has light, that plant has livingness in it, and that plant is going to be more apt to get absorbed into your cells and your mitochondria than any other type of growing. We only have 10% of the knowledge of the soil in the world, if that. And so we should let nature do what it's doing, and that's exactly what we're trying to do here. We're trying to bring the farm to you in the form of a tiny farm that's stackable. So you can stack these 3 high and then buy more in different sizes so that you can grow more versatile vegetables. But the point is that you want to get food that's readily available to our cells. That's how we get energy. We get energy into our mitochondria through nutrients. The other stuff, largely speaking, will just bounce off of our cell membrane, off our cell wall, and just fall away. And that's why we're starving. When we eat like a massive McDonald's, for instance, we still feel hungry. It's not the filling of our stomachs that makes us full. It's the filling of our cells that makes us full.
Wow, this is very powerful, guys. So let's see, another question I have for you, Aamir, is when will this be out? Because I want to get my own, and I want hopefully you guys out there to also get one so you guys could up your nutrition level. I mean, of course, I grow an outside garden because this is not available. I do encourage you guys to watch all my other videos where I share with you guys how to grow your own microgreens, like, more manual method. I visited so many cool, microgreens farms that'll even teach you how to do that. Also growing in your backyard like I do. I mean, even in some of the most harshest climates, you could grow wherever you live. You just gotta, figure out the right system to do it. And I mean, I think that's where really Aamir's made it easy because he's figured out the whole system. You just load it up with water, put the seed sheets on there, and you're gonna be growing. So when will this be out and how much will it cost? And tell us more about that.
Sure, and I'm going to go back to a question that you asked earlier that I didn't fully answer about what we're doing, and we're bringing the farm to the urbanite. Just to talk about this question, we are just getting into commercial growing. So what we're doing is we're approaching restaurants and senior living homes and homeless shelters, anywhere that the urbanite is, even residential condo towers, and putting these tiny farms there for businesses. So these are businesses ultimately to get to the consumer. The consumer is very important to me. You are very important to me as a consumer who is unable to find the best food around the country. Once we are able to bring a foundation in our business, we're still a startup. So once we raise enough money and bring a foundation to our business and are bringing some revenue that can pay for us to go direct to consumer, that's when we'll do it. And our estimation is 18 to 24 months is the best guess that I have right now. And then because it's a very logistically and operationally complex business, we have to make sure that wherever we're blending soil from, the ingredients that are going in are absolutely pure, completely organic, completely regeneratively sourced. So that work has to be done, and that work requires a little bit of investment. So once we get to that point, that's when we'll make this available to you.
All right, Aamir, so if somebody wants to learn more about your tiny farm by MODGARDEN, how can they stay in touch with you, get on your email list? Do you have Instagram or anything like that?
Yeah, you can reach us on Instagram at MODGARDEN and on Twitter at MODGARDEN, and then modgarden.com.
Cool, I will put all the links down below, and I want you guys to follow them so that you'll be aware of when the product does come out, because I am personally looking forward to it. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this episode today, learning about the easiest way to grow the most nutrient-dense food to make a difference in you and your families and even the world's health. So I want to thank you, Aamir, for working on this project, because I think it is really needed, and I hope you're quite successful, and hopefully you guys out there too will, give him some love and support as well. If you guys enjoyed this episode here in Austin, Texas today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. I'll be sure to visit Aamir in future months to see his development as his prototype and he gets his machines into production if there's enough interest in it. Also be sure to share this video with other people that are interested in learning about the easiest way to grow food, highest quality food in living soil. Be sure also to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss my new and upcoming episodes. I'm coming out every 5 to 7 days. You never know where I'll show up, what you'll be learning, what new devices or ways to grow your own high quality food at home you'll be learning. And make sure you click the little bell so you get notified as my new videos come out. And finally, be sure to check my past episodes. My past episodes, guys, are a wealth of knowledge. Over 1,700 episodes at this time on this channel, dedicated to teach you guys all about how to grow your own food at home, however you guys want to do it. Whether you guys want to do the menu method like I love, or even simple indoor method like I shared with you guys today. So with that, my name is John Kohler with growingyourgreens.com. We'll see you next time, and until then, remember, keep on growing.